Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a great Sunday of football. Hope you won some money. Hope you had a good NBA day on this horrendous slate. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I make videos for NFL. All of these videos get posted on this subreddit called DF Sports right here. You can find my post here. My username is Shook. Browser, hello? Browser. Hello. There we go. You can find my posts. My username is Shook. I post updates with all of the news that comes out. Um, People Talk Strategy here. Really good place to be. Check it out. If you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Reddit Messenger, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter at Tori Langley 1992. So, let's go over my lineups from today. We'll go over NFL too as well. Also, if you're interested in Discord, I'll have a link down below. So we'll go over all of my NFL lineups from today. Wait. What's going on? Hold on. Okay. Wait. Why are some lineups in my history, but some are live? Huh? Whatever. Okay. We'll go over the showdown slate. So I play cash games for NFL. Showdown slate cashed and cash. When Burrow, Mahomes, Chase, McKinnon, Butker, Gray. The core that I had for showdown cash was Burrow, Mahomes, and Chase. Chase was the only letdown. For the NFL main slate, this was my cash lineup. Just terrible. Just terrible, 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 terrible. I went with Hurts, McKinnon, McCaffrey, Chase, Brown, Debo, Hurst, Tony, Bengals. Tony gets injured. He drops a touchdown. I got off Kelsey because he was having back spasms to AJ Brown. That went terribly. My original lineup would have cashed. So I originally had Jalen Hurts, I had Joe Mixon, I had Christian McCaffrey, I had Jamar Chase, I had. Wait. I forget what it was, but I had Kelsey. It would have cashed, but unfortunate. So showdown cash, main slate did not cash. GPPs did cash though. NFL GPPs, that is. So in GPPs, we were all over Patrick Mahomes. I told everyone in Discord, everyone's worried about that injury. Nobody's going to play him in GPPs. No one's going to play Travis Kelce because they're scared of the back spasms. So we were all over Mahomes, all over him. He was clearly the best quarterback on the slate, best quarterback play on the slate. And if you watch my public video, I said Mahomes is the best quarterback on the slate for GPPs. And he was the highest scoring quarterback by far. So it worked out huge. Unfortunately for me, Juju injured. Kadarius Toney injured. But still cashed in that one. And then my other GPP lineup, same thing. But Juju injured. Tyler Boyd injured. Like, come on, man. Come on. Why? Why? I was looking so good too. Unfortunate. The guy that won the Millie, he only put one lineup in too. It's absolutely crazy. He only put one lineup in too, and he had Tony who got injured. Absolutely crazy. Congrats to whoever that is. My NBA lineup did cash. The core that I had for today was Ja Morant, smash. Giannis Antetokounmpo, smash. Brandon Clark, meh. And Jose Alvarado, smash. And Terrence Mann. I had a core of 5 today, so 3 smashes, 1 reach value, 1 dud. So 4 out of 5 on the core. I'll take that all day long. Brandon Clark got into massive foul trouble, but profitable day overall. I also took Eagles money line. I also took Chiefs money line. So decent day. Some profit on the day. It's been a phenomenal past 3 days. I don't even know what to say at this point. Up like, I don't know. Go look at my balance from 3 days ago and look at my balance today. What, couple thousand past 3 days? It's been insane. I can't ask for anything more. So let's go over the slate. I'm going to make this a quick one. I have to be up very early tomorrow for. I have to go see my pulmonologist. Still not 100% from being in the hospital. So I have appointments with a pulmonologist, stuff like that. The COVID really fucked me up, man. So I'm gonna make this a really quick video. I apologize. I gotta be up way earlier than usual to see my pulmonologist. So, all right, let's go over the slate. So I have no interest in Orlando. Banchero, fine GPP play, really tough spot. Same with Franz. Don't like the match for Carter. Fultz, no. So Orlando, a complete cross off for me. I think Joel Embiid plays here, but you guys know what to do if he doesn't, or I'll go over it if he doesn't. If Joel Embiid plays, I don't think it's the best spot, but he's matchup proof. I would like him for GPPs as a contrarian sped up. Harden would just be a contrarian play. Excuse me. And then I would be off the rest. But if it beats out, then you guys, like Harden's going to look like a pretty good play at 9.8K. Tyrese Maxey's going to look like a pretty good play at 6.5K. Then I would be interested in Montrezl Harrell if he starts at the 5. So then Paul Reed will get the backup 5 Montrezl Harrell. He would be a viable GPP dart. And then Tobias Harris, DeAnthony Melton would be in play. So keep an eye on that NB news. Definitely important. Lakers at Brooklyn. So this game looks really good to target. We have LeBron 80 out. We have Reeves out. We have Lonnie back, but I think he'll be on the limit. So Westbrook's still going to come off the bench, but he's just too cheap. No AD, no LeBron. He's going to be the clear highest usage player on this team. I expect him to play over 30 minutes here. I think Westbrook looks great. Looks really good at 7.5K. I think Dennis Schroeder looks like a very good play at 5.4K as well. He'll probably play close to 40 minutes. He'll have the ball in his hands a ton. And him starting and not having some shifts with Westbrook definitely helps as well. Schroeder looks really good. Westbrook looks really good. I like Thomas Bryant quite a bit. So when Gabriel was out of the rotation, obviously, because Anthony Davis is back. But when AD was out, I know they were going to Gabriel earlier, but he went back to 33 minutes and 29 minutes. So I think they're going to play Thomas Bryant around 30 minutes here. And if that's the case, I really like the spot here up against Brooklyn, and he would just be way too cheap at 5K. So I do like Bryant quite a bit as well. They could honestly start Rui too. I have some interest in him. I think he'll get a minutes bump and a usage bump. I think he's definitely someone that we can definitely go to for value. And then I think that would be it. I don't really have interest in Beverly or Troy Brown Jr. Like they're playable, but I don't love it. But I think Westbrook, Schroeder, Bryant, and Rui all look like pretty good plays. Let's move over to Brooklyn. So no Kyrie, Ben Simmons is questionable. Doesn't really change much for me. I think Kyrie Irving in a phenomenal spot, in a pace-up spot against the Lakers, looks like one of the better sped-up options on the slate. Lakers have been very bad against opposing point guards, so Kyrie looks really good. Nicholas Claxton's been playing extremely well basketball of late, playing huge minutes too. So if you want to ride the hot streak, I wouldn't hate you for it. Ben, no. Royce, no. Seth, no. Joe, no. If Ben Simmons is out, then you can consider guys like Royce, Seth, but I think they're still a little bit overpriced for my liking. So yeah, just Kyrie on Brooklyn for me, basically on the Warriors side. So it's a really good spot. We also do have Lou Dort out on the other side, so Steph Curry gets a really good spot here against whoever they put up on him. I think he looks pretty good for GPPs. He's always low owned. Oklahoma City Thunder play fast. I think it's a really good spot without Lou Dort. So I do like Steph. Poole, no. I think it's a pretty good spot for Klay Thompson as well. I think he's an interesting GPP play too. So like Klay, we do have Andrew Wiggins back. We'll have to monitor the starting lineup. If they start Draymond at the 5 again, I like him at 6.3K. Good spot. Bigs have been destroying the Oklahoma City front court. So if Draymond starts at the 5, I like him. If he starts at the 4, more of a GPP only play. Wiggins, no. Dante, no. Looney, no. Let's move over to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So pace up spot here. I think it's an okay spot individually. I think Shy is a good tournament only play. Been picking it up of late as well. Been way, way more aggressive. And I like targeting the Warriors. So I like Shy. I don't think he stands out as like one of the better spend ups on the slate, but he's always going to be low owned. So like Shy quite a bit for GPPs. Giddy, no. Jalen, no. Just Shy for me at the top for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sacramento is pretty easy to talk about. Sabonis more of just a tournament GPP only play. Production's been down of late. Has a tough matchup up against Rudy Gobert, so I'll gladly pass. Same thing with Fox at 8.3K. I think there are just better options for cheaper or a little bit around that place. So like you have Spencer Dinwiddie at around the same price. I'd much rather go to him. So I think Fox is a good pivot off those chalky point guards that we'll have on the slate, but um, for me, just a tournament only play. Herter, Barnes, Murray, they're okay options. Don't love it, don't hate it. But on this big of a slate, do they really have the ceiling to win you a GPP? I don't think so. I think Herter would be the best option if you want that choice, but I don't think I'll be going to any of those guys. Let's move on to Minnesota. So, really good spot here. I like Ant quite a bit at 9.4K. Pace of spot, gonna play huge minutes. He thrives in these types of matchups. Has shooting forward eligibility as well. I think Ant's a pretty good spend up. I think D'Lo is pretty safe as well. They're just running these guys into the ground. And I don't think people have realized that yet that the rotation has changed. Earlier, like a week ago, he was only playing 30 minutes a game, but look at the last 4 games: 42, 39, 37, 37. The rotation changed. So if we're going to continue to get 40 minutes of D'Angelo Russell at 7K, he is too cheap. So D'Lo looks good. Unfortunately, Rudy Gobert looks good in a good spot up against Sacramento. Once again, the minutes. Minutes, minutes, minutes. He's too cheap. So I like all 3 of the main Minnesota guys tomorrow. Kyle Anderson's minutes on a downtrend, so I still think he's a little bit overpriced, but a fine play. McDaniels, no. Nas, no. Nathan Knight, no. Let's go to Washington. So we have Porzingis back. I think he'll be on a limit here, so I think Washington will just be a cross-off for me. Like, I'm not going to go to Denny anymore. Gafford would still be playable if they continue to start him at the 5. Won't be a smash value anymore, but would be a playable value. Monte, no. Bradley Beal did get a minutes uptick last game, so if we're going to get like 33 to 35 minutes of Bradley Beal at 7.2K, I do have some interest, but he's been very, very passive of late. Kuzma's overpriced with Porzingis back, and then I'm not going to go to anyone else. Let's go to the Spurs. So really good spot here. If the Spurs want anything of keeping this game close, it's going to have to be a big game from Keldon Johnson. I play him here. He busts. Of course, the next game, he breaks the slate. Played 41 minutes in overtime, so 36 in regulation. I think he's an okay GPP play. Just know if you play him, he's going to cause you immense amounts of pain. Trey Jones just not playing enough minutes right now for me to go to him, but a safe option. Jakob Poeltl, same thing, not playing enough minutes. Now Jakob Poeltl definitely has the ceiling to go for like 50 plus in only like 28 minutes. He can definitely do that, and he is kind of cheap, so I do have interest in Poeltl. Like if I knew Poeltl was going to play 30 plus minutes tomorrow, he would be in my lineup at this price tag, but I don't know if he'll play that much, so do what you want with that info. Like I said, if I knew he was going to play that much, he would be a really good play, but I just don't know. We do have Richardson, I believe, back, yeah, and Langford, I believe, questionable. If Keita Bates-Diop starts again, another guy that's playable for value. Um, Zach Collins probably plays around 20 minutes, fine value, doesn't stand out to me. Sochan seems overpriced, but played huge minutes last game in overtime. But 5K seems about right for him. You also have Josh Richardson coming back as well, so that definitely gives him a hit. On the Detroit side, so it's a really tough spot here. They're just running such weird rotations right now, so it's really hard for me to get to any of these Detroit guys. It really, really is. So, Bojan, I feel the safest about. He's been playing consistently over 30 minutes a game all season long, but I really don't like the spot up against Dallas. Ivy, good luck trying to figure out how much he's going to play. So just a dart. Same thing with Killian Hayes. His minutes are all over the place. Alec Burks has been starting, so it's hard to go to Hayes. If Alec Burks continues to start, though, I think he's still solid, even at 4.9K, good point per minute guy. I would assume he'd play around 30 minutes, so solid play in Alec Burks if he continues to start. We have Isaiah Stewart back, so that kind of kills Duran for me. He's overpriced at 5.5K. And that'll do it for the Pistons. Let's move over to Dallas. So, Luka questionable. He's been out, of course, on my best ball team. If he plays, it's a really good spot. Price is way, way up, though. I mean, if you have the salary, go for it. I don't have to go over why Luka's a good play. But I just don't feel the need in NBA DFS in the state right now to pay almost 13K for a player. So I'll continue to fade, but if you want to play him and you have the salary to do so, by all means, go for it. Dimwitty, if Luke is in, is too pricey. Same with Tim Hardaway Jr., same with Dorian Finney-Smith. Everyone would just be a cross-up for me if Luke is in. But if Luke is out, I still think Dimwitty is a pretty solid play, even at 8.5K. Just going to play massive, massive minutes. Clear number one on this team, going to have the ball in his hands a ton. It's a cupcake matchup up against the Pistons, so I think Dinwiddie would still look like a pretty solid play even at that price tag. Definitely not a priority, but a solid play. Tim Hardaway Jr. gets a boost, would be playable, but very, very reliant on scoring. Dorian Finney-Smith, I think, would be a solid value at 4.6K. Just the minutes, man. They need him out there for his defense, and with no Luka, it's just so many minutes to go around. Good defender can get those defensive stats. A good rebounder as well. Now, I wouldn't expect him to continue to put up 30 plus fantasy points, but he would be a very, very safe value if Luka's out. I think it would definitely be doable. And then Dwight Powell would be playable. Kind of concerning he did only play 23 minutes last game, but that was against a Utah team um, who is smaller. So I think with Olynyk back, I don't know how tall Olynyk is or how Utah plays, but I would think Dwight Powell would probably play around 30 minutes again and would be fine. And then Josh Green has been starting. If he continues to start, playable value, but he'll be a very, very low usage guy. It's basically all low usage guys and then Dinwiddie. So that's why Dinwiddie's been absolutely smashing. Last two games here, guys. Tough spot here for Phoenix, but I still like Toronto. Siakam is okay. Definitely had bad games of late, but he'll play huge minutes as well. I don't hate it, but definitely a tough spot. I think Fred VanVleet looks really good. Once again, with no OG Anunoby, he'll play over 40 minutes. He definitely gets a huge boost with no OG. Had a terrible, terrible start to this game. Still ended with over 40 fantasy points. So, like Fred, Scotty Barnes, I think, is super safe at 7.6K. He gets a boost. Gary Trent is fine, but the boomer bust approach between the two. And then Precious Achiuwa playing huge minutes with no OG in the starting lineup. He is too cheap at 5.1K, and I still think it's a pretty solid play, assuming he continues to start. And they're running such a tight rotation, it's extremely, extremely hard to go to anyone on the bench, in my opinion. I think Boucher is playable for large field GPPs. All right. Tough spot here for Phoenix, but I think Chris Paul's still too cheap with no Booker, so I do like Paul quite a bit. Ayton, don't like the spot at all, so I'll gladly pass there. Bridges, no. I think Camp Johnson is now overpriced. Craig, Saric, really hard to get to these guys, but Craig will play probably 25-ish minutes. He's an okay value, and Saric's minutes have been way, way down, so hard to go there. Really just Chris Paul for me on the Phoenix side. And then on Atlanta, we have Trae Young questionable. If he's in, I don't like much. I think Murray's too cheap. I still think he's even playable with Trae Young in. So I like Murray regardless. Capella has surprisingly still played around 30 minutes a game. I think it's a really good spot, especially if Nurkic is out. So I think Capella is definitely intriguing to me and a pretty good play. Collins, no. Hunter, no. Bog, no. Okongwu, no. But if Trey's out, then this is where we can get some interesting plays. DeJounte Murray is going to look like the best play on the slate at 8K with no Trey Young. He would look amazing. Bog would probably move into the starting lineup, and he would look like a good play at 5.1K. Hunter, no. Wouldn't have interest in these guys, Collins and Hunter, but they'll play huge minutes. Still would have some interest in Capella. And then I think that would be it, really. It would just be Bog and Murray for me that get the bigger bumps with no Trey Young. Let's move on to Portland. So we have Nurk and Hart questionable. We'll go over both ways. So Dame's been on a tear of late. Definitely a tough spot with DeJounte Murray guarding him, but still think it looks like a pretty good spend up even at this price tag with how well he's been facilitating this team and with how aggressive he's been. So like Dame, if Nurk can keep his goddamn hands to himself at 6.9K, would have interest in him. Grant Simons would be playable if they're in. Don't love it, don't hate it. Hart himself would be okay, and then I wouldn't go to anyone else. But if they're both out, then Dame looks good. I would really like Grant at 6.3K. I would like him a lot. He would just be too cheap. He should be like a 7.7 to 7.5K player. If those two guys are out, just the rebounding opportunities. He has to be more aggressive offensively as well. The minutes he has to play. So I would like Grant quite a bit if those two guys are out. Simons would get a boost too and would be playable. And then Drew Eubanks. He would be a solid value at 3.6K. I believe they started Nasir Little too. Low usage guy, but would be a playable value at 3.4K. So sorry for the quick video, guys, but hope this did at least help you out. Hope you guys had a good night tonight, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.